Yes, it's visible.
All right, great. All right, so myself, I'm a Pavan from I'm teaching here from last almost 8 to 9 years of experience. Currently, I'm holding it. From the last 6 years, I'm teaching in this three profile. And I was started with working as MSBA. Then we have worked with the Power BI and the Azure BI. Currently, I'm taking only the course for Data Factory. Yes, we have one-to-one course for this MSBA, which I'm going to take for evening batches. Currently, we have 3 batches currently running in morning, and this is a new batch we are trying to implement. So this is completely for 8 a.m. batch. And going further, we maybe start once it is complete the 9 a.m. batch. We're going to start with Data Factory again, the 9 a.m. batch. So this batch is currently for 8 a.m. We'll be starting completely 8 a.m. batch. Okay, for Data Factory. And going further, we have a Power BI and the other sessions as well. If you're interested to that, you can join it. All right. So before going to start with this data factory, as we know, this Azure is one of the main important cloud feature, cloud tool, we can say. So before going to this data factory, does anyone know what is the data factory? What is the ETL tool? And what is the Azure main importance? Anyone know what is Azure? And moreover, what is the BA? Anyone know what is BI or data factory? I hope you people are something you have searched about the data factory, right? You have gone through the Azure as a cloud feature. We know that is a cloud feature.
Yeah, Azure is like a cloud service, and ADF is like it's an ETL process where we do the data transformations and data loading,
Right?
all those stuff like SSIS we have in on-prem.
All right. Yeah. Some of the feature like which we have in SSIS, the same feature that we have in data factory, definitely. That is one of the point, and is a Azure data factory is a cloud feature under the Azure. So see, whatever the tool you go, whether it is a Power BI, whether it is a MSBA, okay, whether it is a Azure BI, or there's a lot of tools we have in the market. Congress BI, Tableau, BI, or ClickView. So what all this BI is going to do in the real time? Okay, and we have now feature as a ETL data factory. It is more popular. See, even if you go for reporting also, they are required this tool. ETL tool is mandatory for reporting developers. And if you're purely going for data factory, if you're going for purely data factory, you don't require any reporting tool because there is a lot of features, lot of requirements on data factory. If you go every time, every day, it will have your workings for your Mindtree and your essential because a lot of opportunity on data factory. So the opportunity and all, we'll discuss this later part. Okay, first we'll try to discuss in this session, we're going to learn some basic things about Azure and what is a BA process. So anything you go to these tools, we have some BA process. What actually we do with these tools, there is some process. What sort of process it is? So the main important this is something called data analyst part. There's something called data analyst part. So any business, anyone start, you require data analyst or BA developers. Any business they start, whether that programming is something different, they comes today up and down. But this opportunity, these jobs are evergreen. Wherever the business starts, we require developers, BI developers, data analyst we required, business analyst is required. What is the importance of this? What is the BA process is? So let's take a basic example. If you want to generate a report, Why we require to generate a report first of all? Definitely when we start some business, when I start some business, I need to take some decisions, right? I need to take some decisions. How I am going to take a decisions, business decisions? Required some reports. Who will generate the reports? How the reports will get? Through data. The reports will get from data. Okay, to take a business decisions, we require report. Report is required data. Data may be in different formats, right? It may be structured format, it may be semi-structured format, or it may be unstructured format. Yes, please mute your mics. If any questions, doubts are there, I'll give you time. You can ask any questions, okay? Just put it on mute. All right. So as business, if you go any of this tool, business is required to take some decisions based on these tools. They require reports. Reports require data. Data are in different formats. It may be structured format, semi-structured format, or unstructured format. And the data may come from different sources. Different sources. What is the different source? Maybe some files, maybe some databases, maybe some Azure storages, maybe some other storages. So who is going to provide this data? See, our reporting part is whatever tool you use reporting for, they require data. Who is going to get the data in proper understanding? See, the different format means you need to be have when you go for data, when you're generating some reports to take some business decisions, it required a proper data, proper information. That information comes again from different formats, from different sources. So this is all the process till you provide data. Till you provide data, we require the data factory team. ETL team is required. The pipelines need to be developed. ADF team is required. ADF developer is required. ETL developer is required. To extract the data from different sources, it may be any format of data, you need to be ready with your pipeline. The pipeline may be convert structured format, semi-structured format, unstructured. Nowadays, they are using the JSON files. Earlier, we was using some other files. Now they are using some Parquet files. Now they are using the web URLs, API REST URLs. This is a new URL. Directly from URL, you get the data. You're not storing any files or something like that. Directly through API, you're getting the data, live data. So whatever the data, whatever the storage, what is your role to extract the data from different sources? It may be any format of data. The data to be converted into proper information. This is our main important point. So that data we need to convert into proper information. When you convert into proper information, that will be considered as data for generating the reports. Based on this report, business team will going to take decisions. So whenever the business they are implementing, definitely we require these developers. So this is the more important rather than your reporting developers. These people will only generate for one time reports. Until you get this data, these people will not work. So to convert and to extract from different sources or other sources, this is more important, more weightage for the data factory developers. So let's take a basic example. I'll just show you some basic example. I hope you heard about some supermarket. I hope everyone visible my paint brush here. All right.
Yes.
So if you observe, if you go to any supermarket, let's take Walmart or some D-Mart, whatever the supermarket is. If you observe or not, whenever you purchase some products, what that we do, we go for billing. Okay, in billing only there is a counter. In that billing counter, what they do, whatever the purchase, whatever the product you purchase, what will happen? There will be having some billing application in the system that developed in Java, .NET, C Sharp, whatever the application they use. We don't get. This is not our work, our programming language. Our work is let's suppose I purchase a product, okay, as a customer, and I'm going to do some billing. The product details it will be captured in the system. The moment they do barcode, the information will capture product details, quantity, price, okay, and discount amount, discount amount, some sales amount, okay, sales amount, the other stuff it will be captured. That all information where it is storing, that it is storing in some storage account. It may be storage account. It is connected with your storage account that we call as live storage. Even your bank application also, like PhonePe, GPay, or whatever the application you use, what you do, whatever the amount you withdraw or deposit or send payment, what will happen immediately? It will affect in your account, right? That is through live service. That server in terminology, what we are calling OLTP. So this is the regularly terminology. Don't need to worry. If people are non-technical background, this is the regular terminology. Okay, get it habit with this one. So OLTP, online transactions processing. This is one of the storage. Based on the company budget, they may use store in files, maybe CSV, maybe Excel, or it may be a databases, it may be your SQL, it may be MySQL, it may be Oracle, or it may be some other database. Or it may be a storages, cloud storages, blob storage, data lake storage, data warehouse storage. It may be anything. Depend upon their storage to store your data, customer data, product data to store here. So how they are storing? There is some connectivity will be there. Through connectivity, they are storing it. What will happen here is, the important point here is, I am a business owner. I am a business owner. I invested a lot of amount on my company. I want to know how my business is working. As a owner, as a business user, I want to know how my business is generating the revenue. Because I spent a lot of amount to start my business. So I want to know how my business is running. See, unless he gets some information, what these people they do, they are some non-technical background. They only understand the report. Even you provide some raw data also, they will not understand. Raw data means like table format data, like rows and columns like that. They will not understand. They require some graphs, some visualizations, which can seen directly and summarize the data. They never check on each customer level. This report should be generated on high level of information, like product details wise, or yearly sales, monthly sales, or daily how many revenues we are generating, which product is getting more sale. Based on the graphs going up and down, they will take a business decisions. To generate this report, as I said, we require data. Data is required proper information. Information, again, it comes from the different sources. Okay, to generate this information, we require again ETL developers. Okay, so how to generate, how to share the data to the same user. So here, once the data is created, once the data is stored here. So as let's suppose if the data is stored in the database, if the data is stored in the database, I'll hire one SQL developer, SQL Server developer. What it will do, he will write one query for me and it will get the data. Whatever the data is there here, he will write for me, and the result, whatever it gets, I'll put in Excel and I'm going to generate some data and I'll share to the end user. This is manual work. Every day he has to get. And this is something called, this is live data. This is something called a live data. We cannot extract whatever when the business are running. Let's suppose business is running 8 a.m. Business has started. Your store is started 8 a.m. and it will close at 10 p.m. Till that, you should not do any query on the live service. And also the important point here, you can only store max to max 1 month of data. 1 month of data you can store in live storages. What is the reason? Any company you go, live server means 1 week data or 1 day data or max to max 1 month data, because every day we get a more transactions, huge transactions. When the huge transactions you get, when you huge customers you get, it is difficult to store the data here. Difficult means you cannot perform properly the DML operations. What is a DML? Insert, update, delete. What is that all means? Somebody is come here, purchase, that means you are inserting some records. Somebody is want to return, there you are updating the data. Somebody is you want to return that product, you are doing some delete operations. So to delete, when you have a huge volume of data, it has to search one by one. It takes a lot of time. So that is what we go for some other separate storages. Even we don't store, if your manager, someone asks, please provide me last year sales. I don't have data. I'll max to max, I can maintain 1 month. How are you going to provide last 5 years of sales or 2 years of sales? So that is what the data warehouse is implementing into this one. So here our BI work will start. Our BI process will start along with your reporting. Your BI work will start. I am going to maintain one more storage. I'm going to maintain a separate data warehouse storage here. In this storage, what I'm going to do, I'm going to, with the help of Data Factory, what I'm going to do, I'm going to extract the data, whatever the sources it may be. It may be a cloud storage, it may be a live storage, it may be any storage. I'm going to extract, I'm going to transform them. What means by transformation? Transformations is nothing but, let's suppose if you don't require unwanted data, you want to avoid some data, you want to add some new data, or you want to add some business logics. All these things can be performed under transformations. Again, finally, you're going to load the data in the database. And every day, how you're going to load, you're going to schedule it. You're going to develop one pipeline. You're going to develop one ETL pipeline. What this ETL do? When my store is closed, 10 p.m. Now system are in idle position. Nobody is using the system. That time I'm going to schedule Is it visible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We lost your voice 1 minute back. Can you repeat?
Yeah, it is disconnected. I'll just repeat. All right. So what will happen here is, so this is something called transformations. Like what we do in transformations, we do some business logic. We required, which we not required, unwanted data. We are going to avoid those data. Unwanted data means what? Like some bad data, which is not required for my reporting, which is not required for developers or business users to use the data. So those data or some logics we are implementing under pipeline, that is under transformations. So once the store is closed at 10 p.m., you no need to do anything. Just you need to run your job. Jobs means this is a scheduled one. So one time schedule which extract the data, which load the data into your database. And this is something called readable data. So you no need to wait for the user. You no need to wait here to extract the data from your live servers. You can, instead of live server, anytime you can extract, except the job which is running. When the job is running, when you're trying to extract the data, it may chance of blocking. So that is what, when the jobs are running, when we schedule these jobs early mornings or every night time, which the business time is not using it. That time we run our jobs. So everyday data, we get it over in the database. So here, let's suppose I'm holding the country-wise data. So this country is coming from file, India data is coming from file, some US country data is coming from databases, some other countries maintaining from cloud. So your data factory has a capability. In SSIS, earlier, there is a parent tool of data factory. We call as SSIS tool. If you go and search how this data factory came into the market, data factory advanced, the earlier tool was SSIS. If people know SSIS, it is very easy for data factory. Here, this is only traditional tool we call. Traditional tool. Why traditional tool? Because it supports only structured data. If you want some other data, you are going to require some extensions, third-party extensions. But in our data factory, we call as modern data tool. You are not only going to use in BI, also in future, you are going to use those tools for data processing in artificial intelligence. So that is what these tools are required, is very important for processing a big data. Going further, you will be a part of a team called AI. Not only the business intelligence purpose, to process a big data for artificial intelligence, we are using the data factory ETL tool. Why we are using this one? In practical session, I'll tell you why it is used, what is the help of this data factory tool. In practical session, I'll tell you. Because very important and powerful tool this is. All right, let's come to this one. So once the data is there in a data warehouse, so whatever the tool you want, you can connect. Whatever the query you want, you can connect. So all country data you have here. All country data, it will be India, it will be USA, UK, whatever the data is there, you can extract easily. But here, sometimes what happens, what your reporting team will come into the picture now. Instead of writing manually, what we do, instead of writing manually, we hire a reporting developers. Because I want to schedule my reports. I want to get in proper visualizations, high visualizations like pie chart, graphs, some Donald charts, line chart. So for that, there is separate tools like Power BI, one of the tools, SSR is one of the tools, Tableau is separate tools, and there are a lot of tools in the market for reporting purpose, not for the data modeling, not for the ETL. These tools are only for reporting purpose. Reporting, that is maybe your Power BI. What is this reporting tool is about? It may be, it is same like your, instead of running the manual query, what you're going to do is just take this query and place it over here. That's it. Here inside that, you're keeping the SQL queries. Instead of writing manually, what is this Power BI or other tools? These are just a SQL queries, nothing more than that. What SQL queries do? Instead of writing manually and we are extracting the data from data warehouse, we are writing from here. We are extracting data from directly through queries. So instead of writing the direct queries, what we do, because we have a data warehouse, huge volume of data here. There's a huge volume of data. So when you go for extraction of data through reporting also, it takes a lot of time. So what we going to do again as a ETL developers, we need to give them as in high level of information that we go as data marts. What we do here in data marts? In data marts, we prepare some chunks of databases. Okay, we prepare some chunks of databases which we use, we can directly access through reporting. So what is the chunks of databases? Instead of, see, here when you go, you have to write a query and you have to filter, you are working for UK, you have to take only UK data. So the same data through our ETL, see here also we require data factory. Here also we require ETL, you cannot directly load it. This is my data maps. So here, let's suppose I'm using for India region data. Here I'm using just UK data. So people don't need to go for data warehouse. Whatever the data is there in data warehouse, they can easily get the data from data marts. So for quick reporting techniques. Now some companies like JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Henkel, those business companies or product-based companies, they have huge products, huge inventories. For them, they go for multi-dimensional cubes. Multi-dimensional cubes. They maintain the data in different analysis cubes, different angles. So this is again, they generate with a tabular model, or it may be you can generate through multi-dimensional model. For that also you required ETL developer to load the data. Again, we require, see the importance of ETL, importance of data factory. I'm saying this anyway, we're going to develop it. So here we're going to maintain cube databases. And it is a aggregated data. It is a pre-calculated logic. So you no need to write in queries. You just directly drag and drop the feature in the cubes. Again, in some cases, if you see in some companies, even my company also, we go for summarized databases. In the same way, same data, if it is going for millions of records, if you are going for millions of record transactions, one copy we maintain in data warehouse, one copy, that is another copy through summarized data. Here we are going to maintain summarized data, that is aggregated data, which for quick reporting. You no need to aggregate over here. Directly you can access through summarized data. So any company, they have summarized data. If you don't have how to generate, I'll tell you in data factory. Here also we require ADF tool. Here also we require ETL tool. See, to generate the reports, to deliver the reports, this is what we need to go at backend. This is completely we call as BI, end-to-end business process. If somebody asks you what is BI process, tell them this is a process. In any company, they follow this process. Maybe they may not use cubes. Some companies, they may not use data marts. They will use data warehouse concept. They will use as a copy or summarize data. And through there, generating a reports. So this is the BI end-to-end process. To deliver the reports, to share the reports, we required finally to maintain in proper information data warehouse. Okay, so same concept. Earlier we was using in on-premises. Now what Microsoft said is, instead of purchasing some full license of data warehouse, ETL tools, some storages account, virtual machines, they come across with a concept called cloud feature. So these all are on-premises setup. These all are on-premises setup. So to start the business, definitely BI developers are required. We require data warehouse, we require database, we require systems, we require physical storages, we require ETL tools, we require separate databases. So even if you go and purchase for SQL Server license, it will be more costly. If your project are 3 months, 6 months, if your project is 3 months or 6 months, after 3 months, you have purchased a license. Okay, you start up the business. After 3 months or 6 months, if your project is gone or the project is completed, what you're going to do with SQL Server? The license, no use. The system which you are using, the laptops, the Windows operating system license is not a genuine one. It is a cracked version. In real time, we use as a genuine product license keys for operating systems. This is all you need to purchase in real time. So that is what Microsoft suggested is we implemented as a cloud. You no need to purchase any kind of license. We're going to give you as rental purpose. Okay. Microsoft is giving you as a rental purpose. You want operating system, we're going to give operating system. You just need to come to our cloud. You just need to come to our store. You require storages, we're going to give a storages. Okay, we're going to provide a storages. In real time, in on-premises, if you observe or not, your storage capacity is, let's suppose, 250 GB. And let's suppose immediately you got high transactions. You need to increase to more 250 GB, 500 GB. What we require separate team is required, separate ID team is required, infrastructure team is required. And we need to also check whether that architecture will support more 250 GB or not external. You require many approvals. If that architecture is not support more 250 GB, you suddenly got to change and you started increasing to 500. There may be chance of performance degradation. So that easily can be achieved in your cloud. You no need to do any maintenance of storages. You no need to require any backups. Every day you need to take a backup. Separate DBA team is required. Backup team is required. Here in cloud, not required anything. You just need to say you want backup or not. Microsoft is going to take care about backup. So ETL tools, whatever ETL tools you're working, they are giving you more than that. Earlier in SSIS, we was going for third-party extensions. We are dealing with third-party companies for like your web URLs, sources like JSON sources, like your unstructured data, or it may be semi-structured data. We are dealing with third-party team. They will provide you some extensions. With that help of extensions, like a Task Factory is one of the company, or SAP is one of the company for SSIS who providing these formats of data. So these are some companies which is providing your unstructured format or semi-structured format data in SSIS. Even the Microsoft product, people are moving third-party companies. So that is what they have introduced with the concept called Data Factory. So any sources you want, Oracle source, SAP source, SQL source, cloud storages, any storages you want, you just need to go with the Data Factory. Okay, and SQL servers, very important. Data warehouse, SQL server. Earlier you were purchasing it, now you don't require. How much you are querying, how much storages, how much capacity you are using, you need to pay only that much of amount. You need to pay only that much of amount. So at background, see, when we are talking about cloud, that doesn't mean it's stored in the cloud. Definitely you are acting like a virtually. Let's take example like your Gmail account. You're storing under G Drive. Okay. Your photos, images, your documents, you're storing it. And it is giving you max to max 15 GB. Where actually it is storing it? Definitely there is a background, there is a data center is there at background. There is a background, we have a data center. So that is what for Microsoft, you have a lot of opportunities, not only for these tools, also for maintenance of your data factory. If you know about data factory also, you have a support jobs from Mindtree to Microsoft. So if you go and check for Mindtree companies, they mostly hire for Microsoft. For what? For on behalf of you, there is a data center which is going to be deployed for that maintenance, and for your data factory support, they're going to help you. Because you are not going to install any physical tool in your system when you are working with data factory. So no physical tools are required. We are going to work with only portal. The store name they are given called Azure. So how we have Amazon, Flipkart, what you're going to do, you just go to that store, you purchase a product. The same way you have to come to the store, whatever the products you want, you can purchase it here. So physically, whatever you are selecting the product, they will be installing that product in the data center. You're storing the database, you're storing the data lake. Okay, that data lake space will be allocated for you in the data centers. So this data center also you can select. You want USA, you can select USA. You want other regions, you can select the other regions. You want other regions, you can easily select them. So always we are working with only portal. So how we are going to log in the portal? Let's see here. So this one will practically we'll see in tomorrow's class, and you can see whatever I discuss now. This is a high level of picture. This is the internal part I have discussed, how it works. This is the real-time picture. You get the multiple sources. As a ETL developer, as a data factory developer, this is your role. Till you deliver the data, you have to work. This team just going to refresh the data. One-time development, they're going to refresh. Again, internal part of this one, we'll discuss it. So there is the internal part. So internal part means this is the data factory. Internal data factory, we required copy data activities, some data sets, some link services. This is the internal part of data factory. This is high level of picture, business discussions. When it comes to as a developer to you, you will get this picture. In regular meetings, they'll discuss high level because business need to understand. In this call, in this regular daily call or scrum call, whatever your company will having daily calls, they will discuss on high level of this business because business team also will come into this call. If I try to start explaining to them this one, they will not understand. They are, as I said, they are non-technical backgrounds. So first we need to discuss about high level of information. So by seeing picture, you can easily, even non-technical person also can understand, okay, the data is coming here. We need to process, we need to load here. Our Power BI team will be help us to present the data. Simple, this team, what they do? We are everything, we are cooking the food. The presentation will do some other person. We are making ready, we are making cook the food, we are cleaning that food. If you purchase some chicken and all, what you do, first you will wash that cleanly and you will prepare that food, whatever that required with the ingredients and other stuff. Then these people will arrange some on top of that cooked food and they'll present in different formats. Same thing we need to do. Whatever the data comes, we need to clean them. We need to arrange in proper data. These people will arrange, they'll present in different formats. They'll present, that's it. Which understanding by the business team. Then internally discussions, we're going to this part. So don't worry, even I know there is many students here for non-technical who is from BPO background. For them also we'll discuss from scratch. Okay. All right. So this is our portal. Just log into the portal.azure.com. You no need to work anywhere. You only need to work with this portal. You want storages, data factory, click on data factory. You want storages, you go with storages. You want SQL storage, install here only. But what you do in earlier, manually installing in our system, the required system, the required SQL Server setup file, right? And that we are installing in our C drive. Not required. You required machines, we're going to provide you machines. Windows operating system you want, or which version you want, level 10, 9, 8, whatever you want. Just select it. So everything you will be working on the portal only. Okay. All right. Okay, so I just want to show you the difference between the Python and packages. So that we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay, so I hope everyone shared your details. We'll see tomorrow as a purely practical. Whatever we implemented today, whatever we have seen, we have discussed. This is completely, I'll show you practical. Practically, we'll discuss all components in tomorrow's class. Okay, any questions, any doubts, guys, so far here?